Hello everyone, Trainmaster04 here, and in this little video I will be reviewing a boxcar, but not just any type of boxcar, Mr. Editor, but my track cleaning boxcar from MNP. So let's go ahead and go over what in the world this track cleaning car is. A few months ago, I made a community post on my YouTube page showing off this boxcar on the layout and stating that I originally heard of the MNP, or Many New Products as it's known, about 3 to 4 years ago when my father, myself, and a friend went over to York, Pennsylvania and attended their fall train show, where in the Orange Hall, the founder and owner of MNP had a small little display in the Orange Hall where he was really demonstrating how these little cars do a lot better than what track cleaning cars are available to this very day. Now, speaking of those track cleaning cars, typically what you have nowadays would be some form of a tank car that is made out of brass or copper, giving the car a ton of downforce. As a result, if you're into physics, the track producing enough normal force so that the contact brushes can create enough kinetic friction, and with some assistance of some form of alcohol or mineral spirits, the gunk being produced from the track can be picked up by the brushes. Well, in this case, this car is a little unique in that it does not use any form of liquid, which is good, especially for those of you that have HO track. When it comes to alcohol or even mineral spirits, there's still some form of water content within them, and as a result, it can actually cause track damage. So, and in this case, this boxcar or track cleaning car is the better of the two, and to really best describe how it works, let's just go ahead and open it up. So, Mr. Editor, and there we go. As you can see, the boxcar itself is primarily just a regular boxcar. In this case, MNP, when they were originally producing these track cleaning cars, especially when I was out at York, they were actually working with Weaver, which also at the same time went out of business, unfortunately, were trying to transfer over to MTH. And thankfully, as of the making of this video, MNP is continuing producing these wonderful track cleaning cars in both MTH scale and semi-scale ranges. So in this case, this is a Weaver box car that they modified, and what their services entail is you can either send them a box car or any other freight car that you would like. They would go in, replace the components on the interior with 2 metal weights to give it enough weight so that the rollers can actually pick up any of the junk, a converter board as well as a power distributing board, 2 little can motors with a patent-pending gearing ratio that allows these motors to have incredible torque, and still, if you have so much weight behind it, it will still go and turn. Finally, there is also a little on and off toggle switch located on the other side, so that if you wanted to turn this car into a standard piece of rolling stock, you can simply just take off these pads, turn the switch off to turn off the motors, and it's just a brand new box car. In this case, the pads themselves are actually very unique. They do not actually stay with the car, but instead they just simply fit into these little keyed sprung posts, which do match up to the end of each of these rubber or silicone pieces, and they just simply, sometimes they can be a little bit finicky trying to feed them on, especially when you're trying to do it at track level. But they simply just stay on, and because there's a spring, it keeps tension onto the tops of the rails. So as the motor spins, the pads themselves cover both the outside and inside rails, and as you can see, the results are astounding. These 2 pads I used on my layout, as well as the layout for the fall train show for my local train club, trying to keep the track clean. In that case, that track was fast track, and it got dirty real quick. And really, these pads themselves are just cotton pads with some 3M sticky double-sided tape on the back, and they just stick on. With the technical details taken out of the way, let's go ahead, put this thing back together, and power it up on the track and actually show you how it works in real time. So, Mr. Editor, one more time, please. There we go. Now we're on the layout. I've got some power hooked up to the layout and also a locomotive connected to the boxcar itself. Now, as you can see, as it sits, the car itself is actually turned off thanks to the handy toggle switch, and really gives it a nice little quiet look and a nice ability to give yourself some relief when you don't want to listen to the motors whirring constantly as your train goes around your layout. Now, as you can see, as I was stating earlier, the roller pads cover both the outer rails and the inner rail by interchanging or overlapping between the two. And one of the great things that I like about MNP cars is that the rollers themselves do not use any fluid, and they also work simply by just using kinetic friction. Something that I really like in the sense that I don't have to clean up any messes by trying to pour solution into a tank, and also it reduces the cost of the car since most brass or even copper solution-filled cars range about $500 or less, depending on whether or not you can find one of those cars, since they are fairly scarce. Now, in this case, by simply turning on the switch, the motors begin to whir and, in this case, start to clean. As you can note, the rollers themselves actually spin in opposite directions, allowing there to be an even cleaning surface once the car rolls past. Now, if I put my finger on it, as you can see, with great force, which would typically stall any motor, the rollers themselves just keep on going thanks to the patented gearing ratio for each DC motor. It really is a wonderful little piece of technology. Now, with the locomotive going into motion, as you can see, the rollers just simply keep gliding over the rails, cleaning as they go and picking up any surface debris on tops of the rails. As I showed you earlier in the video, these rollers really do pick up a bunch of gunk, especially during train shows, and eventually I'll have to replace them since they do such a great job. Now, one of the great benefits, as stated earlier with these cars, is that the rollers themselves are not permanent to the boxcar itself, and at the same time, that's also a bit of a downside to these cars. Yes, the benefit of being able to have another piece of rolling stock and not just a single cleaning car that everybody can see out in the public is very nice. However, how the rollers are attached can be fairly finicky when you're trying to place the car on the track. So one of the methods I have concluded to actually put the car on the track is simply just holding the rollers up against the spring mechanism, both sides, basically in a C-clamp shape with your hand, and just setting it on the track. Thankfully, when you do pick up the car, the rollers do pop off, so simply taking it off the rails is very easy, but putting it on can be fairly finicky. I've tried many times putting the rollers in the estimated area of where the posts are at, and that ended up being a nightmare. Now, one other downside I do want to note is that these cars typically are equipped with only a single pickup roller. Now, this would not be a bad situation since the boxcar itself, or any car that you choose to get turned into a track cleaning car, can have a fairly large electrical footprint. However, as I've been running this car around my layout for a few months, I've noticed that the car actually loses power, specifically over switches, resulting in the rollers to die out and the switches to not get covered. So I would definitely suggest getting one of these cars, but if you run it and you have a layout with a ton of switches, I would definitely suggest going back around on your switches with a hand cleaner and cover any spots the car may miss. Now, one other problem is with the single pickup roller, if you have really dirty track, it's going to get really gunky on that pickup roller and may even miss a few spots, even though you may have constant power. And we're back to the workbench. So pretty much that is it for this little box car or track cleaning car, whatever you want to call it, since it's both. And overall, I hope you all found this video to be very informative and hopefully give you all some info on probably the best track cleaning car on the O-gauge market. Now, I did go ahead and look up the MNP website to see what kind of prices they have in the O-gauge field, as they do also offer their services in all scales, everything from N-gauge to G. So really they have quite a wide market range for these cars. But to narrow it down to you all that run 3-rail O scale, I went ahead and clicked on their MTH page. Currently, they're running prices depending on the type of car or whether it be semi-scale or scale. They will be charging you $265 to $295 for one of these cars. They also do offer some upgrades to these cars, such as a TMCC command board so that you can delete the on and off switch underneath the car itself and simply have it be operated via command control. And they also offer replacement pads, which are the only things you'll have to do to maintain one of these track cleaning cars. Now, if you do not want to pay that exorbitant price and eventually find one either at a train show or somewhere else, I would definitely go ahead and make a saved search file either on a secondhand market such as eBay or even trains.com, where I found this car. And typically when you do find one of these on the market, they'll either stay close to the $200 mark, or you may even be able to find a good deal like I did with this Weaver model for about $100. Overall, I am quite pleased with how this car turned out. From the day I first saw it being demonstrated at York, I was immediately hooked. As a mechanical engineering student, it is just well designed. The fact that it has a high lifespan, low cost of maintenance, and also little hassle just ends up making it just a breeze to deal with. No more spills of mineral spirits or alcohol when trying to refill reservoirs, no more trying to clean up track or even cause electrical problems in the future. It just simply uses physics and friction. So as a result, I would definitely suggest one of these cars for you all out there. That's it for this little video. Thank you very much for clicking on it and also watching it to the very end. I do definitely hope that this little video actually helped you all make a decision on expanding your fleet of rolling stock or MOW equipment and include one of these track cleaning cars. Overall, I am currently working on many new projects in the making. If y'all have been following my YouTube short page, currently I'm on a narrow gauge streak right now, and hopefully we'll be coming out with a new video talking about that in a single compilation. And I've also got a few other video ideas in the making, such as a locomotive collection video, as well as a Bar Mills Scale Model Works kit in the makings, so hopefully those will be coming out in the near future. If y'all liked this video and would like to see more, please go ahead and click that like button. That lets me know that these videos are still wanted. And if you would like to also receive automatic notifications when I produce new content for you all, go ahead and click that subscribe button, as that will automatically register you into the Trainmaster 04 family here on YouTube. But anyway, thank you very much again, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.